you're justified in thinking there is no God. And he gives the example of the kangaroo and the teapot. You see, the failure of those illustrations is that the reason we don't believe that I'm a kangaroo is not because of the absence of evidence that I am a kangaroo. Rather, it is the presence of evidence that I am not a kangaroo. Like, we have good evidence that I'm Homo sapiens. Similarly, the teapot example also fails, because the reason we don't think there's a teapot in orbit around the Earth is not because of the absence of evidence for such a teapot. It's because we have good evidence that no such piece of china has been launched into space by us, or that extraterrestrials have put it there. So it is the presence of contrary evidence. But tonight we've heard no contrary evidence against the existence of God. And so this is just an elementary logical point. A proposition is not shown to be false by the absence of evidence for it. The proposition could still be true in the absence of evidence for it. We just wouldn't know if it's true. Dr. Shook says, well, you can't prove that Santa Claus doesn't exist, and therefore you should not believe in Santa Claus simply because you lack evidence for Santa Claus. This is an analogy, I think, that supports my point of view. As Scott Shalkowski points out in his book, Atheological Apologetics, the reason adults disbelieve in Santa Claus is not simply that there is no good reason to think that he exists, but because we have good reasons to think that he does not exist. We have positive evidence against Santa Claus. There isn't anybody at the North Pole. There's nobody flying around delivering presents on Christmas Eve. So it's not enough just to show that absence of evidence, there's an absence of evidence for God. As criminologists will tell you, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. And I think that's enough to refute naturalism.